is fine. Why don't we jump to the next place, like the 2 bars before mouvement, where the sade is in bam 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 bam, you know, and try to make it sound like a harp if you can, you know. Okay, 2 bars before solo piano. You're not playing all the notes, man. And if my piano doesn't speak well, the action is sort of ausgeleiert. This is a piano from 1906, you know, in Ibach, which was a famous instrument maker in Germany before the Second World War. Maybe you should just play it a little louder. Don't try to play too soft so that the notes speak, right? Okay. Can we do it once again? That was great. With the contour, then I'm going to play with the trumpet. I play the trumpet like shit because you're playing flat. You have to play with crescendo and diminuendo. I can't make music that way. Please, once again, more crescendo, diminuendo. Oh, fantastic. You all the time instead of about myself, and that's what I liked very much about the recording of Mr. Schluter and me, that I didn't have to think about him at all. All I had to do think of myself. He took care of his business and you take care of yours. I'm just going to roll up my sleeves here because I love this piece so much and I know that we can do it much better. Much better. You know, you have a diminuendo going into a mouvement, right? Does it say diminuendo there? Yeah. That's the exception that proves the rule, because normally you're going up there and you would make a crescendo. But then starting at mouvement, it has to be another story. And then I come in mezzo forte. You were probably piano before that, right? Okay, so let's try that once again. It sounded great. But really, Rachmaninoff here. Pretty cool. Now we're getting it. Again, it comes always back to the same principle. You know, when I talk to myself or I talk to another musician, or, you know, I figure out what the fuck, why did I play badly there? I forgot to make a crescendo going up and diminuendo going down. It's so basic. Even my first little phrase, and I'd like to prove this to the trumpet players out there in TV land. At mouvement, okay. I'm looking for an alternative fingering, playing the A at the top of this, sounding G at the top of this little phrase, third valve. But what's important is that if I make a crescendo, those notes are going to come and it's going to have contour also. It doesn't mean I have to play loud. As I said in an earlier YouTube, a piano, the dynamic piano, is a range that starts from pianissimo, goes up to mezzo piano, or even up to mezzo forte if the phrase needs it. It's not something where you get, a knot in your whatever, so that you can't, you're afraid, oh, I have to play piano, it has to be gracios. Bullshit. What you have to be is expressive and keep a very subdued general dynamic. Don't be worried so much about, because dynamics also flux, have a crescendo and diminuendo, or have a movement, or have a dynamic within a certain general decibel level. So now, boom, dee, dee, even that phrase, the second to last note has to have a still contour. You want to put it just before mouvement, the last two notes? Okay, so you're making diminuendo then.
And the very last one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it was good before. Now you've made the crescendo diminuendo that I hoped for. Thank you. Listen to you instead of you listening to me. Just play. Just play with abandon. That's the way this has to sound. I had a French composer. I did a piece with 2 trumpets and organ and percussion. His name was Gilles Racot, and we recorded this for the rebuilding of what they call the Frauenkirche. It was destroyed in the Second World War and wasn't built until it was the 90s, middle of the 90s, until they finally got enough money to put it together. And one of the concerts that I did was to make money to build this, what they call the Frauenkirche in Dresden. And this guy, Gilles Racot, wrote a piece called Nacht, or a Nach, and then Klammer with the T, Nacht, Klam, which means the sound afterwards, or the sound of the night at the same time with a T or not. It's sort of a play on words. Typical pseudo-Künstler bullshit, using a word and playing a little game with it. Anyway, the idea was for 2 trumpets. We'd be playing 2 juxtaposed. Tommy Ranchak is now a solo trumpet in Bremen. He played with me, a fantastic young trumpet player. And he played the second trumpet, or trumpet B, and I played in the other direction. And Bernd Kremling played organ, percussion, and Egidius Doll played organ, Dr. Egidius Doll. And he was, he was way back in the church, about, I think 30 meters away from us, and 10 meters higher. And the 2 trumpets were supposed to stand 10 meters apart from each other and play in opposite directions and play 32nd and 64th notes interspersed. We were supposed to sound like machine gun fire and the dropping of bombs. And so Gilles Racot came to the concert. He came to the dress rehearsal because it was going to be live recorded with MDR, Middle German Radio, out of, I guess it's Leipzig or Dresden, something like that, probably both. And, well, Gilles sat in the fast way, and we'd been pulling out our hair trying to get this right, and we're practicing in a room there, standing beside each other. Now we have to stand 10 meters across from each other, the percussion in the middle, and the organ 30 kilometers, it might as well have been 30 meters away on the other side of the church and whatever. And I said, oh, you're Mr. Gilles Racot, fantastic. Maybe you can conduct this, because I'm trying to lead this rehearsal all the time. It's so difficult to get it together. He said, no, you don't understand. It doesn't have to be that precise. It's the effect that's important. It's the effect that's important. So we can play this precise. We can play this as German as possible. It's never going to sound better because of it. What we're going to try to do is play with intensity, personality, and abandon. And it'll come together in its own way anyway, because we can do this perfectly, mathematically. Very, very timing perfect and whatever. But what I want to do is play it freely and expressively. That's more important. So, and don't play your first note in mouvement so soft it really scares the hell out of me that I'm going to play too loud. Okay? I mean, it's easy to play a soft note on the piano, but not on the trumpet when you start in this, okay? Okay, you still don't want to hear what I'm saying. Play louder, please. Just play louder, okay?